Speaking on his LBC show, the former UKIP leader claimed the London mayor and Speaker of the House of Commons were to blame if the UK was behind France in establishing a good relationship with US President Donald Trump. Nigel Farage also praised French President Emmanuel Macron for his ability to put his political differences with President Trump aside, in order to serve his country's best interests. He said, "So the state visit hasn't happened, and we had many of Corbyn's supporters saying if the president comes there will be mass protests. There were no mass protests in France. You know, the one thing that Bercow, Sadiq Khan, and President Macron have is they're all very short." Getty LBC. Farage blames Sadiq Khan and John Bercow for UK relationship with US. They're all much shorter than average height, but Macron has shown himself to be a much bigger man than the other two, because whatever his fundamental political differences with President Trump are, he's been prepared to put them to one side in what he sees as the greatest interest of France, and he is right. I have to say, I really do think we are making an absolute total mess of this, and we've allowed France to jump way ahead of us. I'm not blaming Macron. I think what he's done is he's played the starring role on this. He really has. Brilliant to get Trump there on Bastille Day last year. You know, the one thing that Bercow, Sadiq Khan, and President Macron have is they're all very short. Nigel Farage. Both the London mayor and Commons Speaker John Bercow spoke out against Donald Trump's state visit last year. The pair claimed there would be mass protests in the streets of the capital if Prime Minister Theresa May allowed the U.S. leader to come. Mr. Macron welcomed the U.S. president on Bastille Day in 2017, and the two leaders have showcased a close relationship during Macron's state visit to Washington on Tuesday. The French president went on a three-day state visit to the U.S. in hope of urging Donald Trump to sign the nuclear deal with Iran, something the U.S. president previously said has terrible flaws. Ahead of the state visit, one Iranian official warned the meeting between the two leaders could be all or nothing for peace in the Middle East. Mr. Trump warned that his European allies, including France, must fix these problems. He will bring back sanctions on Iran, threatening to collapse the nuclear deal. Following his arrival in the U.S. Capitol, Mr. Macron said, "This visit is very important in our current context, with so many uncertainties, troubles and at times threats." Mr. Macron, whose visit will be followed by one on Friday from German Chancellor Angela Merkel, sees the Iran deal as the best available option to constrain Iran's nuclear ambitions. He has called on Trump to keep troops in Syria for the time being to ensure the defeat of Islamic State militants.